All right, Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to another edition. Today is on the 9th of September 2020. APRC Online TV. I am your host, Halifa Ijaju, also known as PANJAK, Gambia. Welcome everybody on board. jërëjëf suma mbokk yi maa ngi leen di déglu bu baax a baax ñi ma nekk si seetaan si jamono bi di leen di jaajëfal bu baax a baax di kontaan si yéen rek ñeen mi nga xam ne yéen a ngeen toppa APRC Online TV last week Saturday amoon nañ beneen programme tey tamit on Friday tey la on the 9th of September 2020 yéen a ngi ñëw follow right now. Viewers, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. It's your host once again, Halifa Ijajo. I will try to introduce my panelists. Today I have my brother as usual, LAMIN TAMBA from the UK. My brother, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, PANJAK. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Today is Friday, the 9th of September.
Yeah.
Welcome to another edition of the APRC live interview or discussions if you like.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, viewers, if you're new to the APRC-TV, my name is LAMIN TAMBA. I am the spokesman for APRC UK branch, a very committed member of the APRC party, and I couldn't have been at a better place than the APRC party. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, LAMIN TAMBA. There is no place to be but the APRC. Those are powerful words. Yeah. Thank you so much. Welcome on board. And I have today another brother called FADEL. So please, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Thank you, PANJAK, and also thank you to all viewers on APRC TV today, online. And I am FADEL, the chairperson of APRC Students Wing, the Gambia, and also the morals and the lessons that I believe in was been given by an APRC militant. Thank you very much, sir.
You're most welcome to the program. Today we'll be dealing with like a lot of issues. We'll be dealing on burning issues as usual. You know, the Gambia every day, new case. You know, the political scene is very important right now. It's very, very interesting right now. I'll just take a recap of the last program that we had. We were discussing about the Constitution, and then LAMIN TAMBA for the Chor and Honorable Duduja. They did a very wonderful deliberation when it comes to regards to the Constitution. And today, another interesting topic, we are going to discuss about burning issues in the Gambia. As you know that APRC, what this means is Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction. So now I will start with Mr. LAMIN TAMBA. As back to school they call it.
Yeah.
Right now it's alarming, and we've heard a few days ago the Minister for Education has also disclosed some like messages to the students that schools will be reopening very soon. So I don't know, what's your take on that?
Well, I believe I saw the press release from the Ministry of Education from the Gambia government, and I believe the schools should have opened some time ago. My worry, the schools should have been opened at no later than the stipulated opening date of the year, academic year. And in the Gambia, the academic year runs between September and July. So knowing that the kids missed about 6 months of education already this year, both during those 6 months, the Gambia government would have been doing exactly what every other government was doing in the world.
Okay.
Setting the stage for kids to go back to school. They saw during the lockdown, the Gambia government came with a stupid policy of running classes online.
Okay.
Now, if you ask me what percentage of Gambian children have got access to online facilities in the country,
okay,
I would put it nothing more than 30% of Gambian students can access lessons online or on TV. Now, even if you've got online and you've got TV, We have seen NAWEC's behavior in the last 6, 7, 8 months, which
Yeah.
culminated in the sacking of their managing director.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it's the managing director that was responsible. He's gone, and the electricity has gone worse. So if you have internet, which is about less than 30% of Gambian students, and you have TV, which is about less than 30% of Gambian students, you still
Okay.
need to grapple with the fact that Gambia has got one of the poorest energy supplies. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like this before. This is
Okay.
something new. In the Gambia today, every day is a new scandal. Every single day is a new scandal. So I believe schools should have opened no later than the first day that they should have opened in September. They
Okay.
had 6 months to prepare the scene for the return of students. All
Yeah.
right? They didn't do
Yeah.
that. They waited and waited. A month later, they want to open on Monday, and then the lower parts of education, the elementary ones, will open about a week or 10 days later or 12 days later. And I'm thinking, if you opened in August, that's what I expected, a phased return. You take
Okay.
a
Yes.
month late to open schools and you're phasing it again. What's the point of phasing it? And in the Gambia, most of the students don't have parents who will drive them to school. They'll probably be jumping in public transport, in buses, cramped up, congested. So
Yeah.
we're basically creating a beehive, basically. And this beehive will be introduced, or you'll have different colonies introduced into this beehive. What we're going to face, only God knows. I'll wait to see what happens when schools resume. Thank you very
Only,
much.
only God knows. Lamin Tamba says only God knows. Only God
Yeah.
can save us from this COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that definitely the 2020, the coronavirus is a pandemic.
Yeah.
And then government have taken strictly measures, putting the lockdown here and there, respecting the health protocols or the health, warnings, by the Minister of Health, World Health Organization, with all this regulation, and yet still now schools are about to resume. By the way, I will ask my brother here, Fadel. Have you listened to the speech of the Minister of Education, and what can you learn from her speech, if you do?
Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين. I first of all thank God for another living again, witnessing another tragedy information or called a press release from the government, the Minister of Higher Education, saying that all tertiary institutions shall be going back to school without no agenda and no stepping. How many people are there going to be in a class? So it is a very big tragedy for we the students in the Gambia, and we are not even seeing that the government have the students in their heart. Because if the government have the students in their heart, you cannot just jump on and just come in a week saying that all the students in tertiary institutions shall go back to school on Monday. We have no proper lesson. We have no proper recruitment for us to go back to school. And if you check the educational system in the Gambia, many of our lecturers are not even normal. They have no syllabus to give to the students for their own newly Monday school, and which sounds unprofessional from the government.
Okay.
Spokesperson, whether from the Ministry of Higher Education. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I already know that we, the students, shall face more difficulties if we resume back to school.
Yes.
I was thinking that yeah.
Yeah, when you say that you the students are going to face with more difficulties as school resumes, what do you mean exactly by that? What are the difficulties that you are expecting that you're going to face as students?
Because number one difficulties is that we are not prepared for Monday classes, and also not even prepared those who are even studying TVET, like the students at GTTI and also the students at UTG, and those who are supposed to go for another level. They don't even meet their criteria. How are they going to start their classes? And we never know
Okay.
who shall be our teacher. And also, number one problem is that the scholarship is not being given, because
Okay.
many students get scholarship from their family and also
Okay.
many from the government. So now,
Okay.
if the government were not even giving more scholarship for the students that's supposed to further their education in tertiary institution, shall also bring another problem to the students.
Okay.
And we have seen, yeah, we have seen many students also getting married because of this pandemic they called, and also the people who supposed to give them scholarship, sponsor their educations, said they cannot sponsor them no more because of, and then the COVID-19 they have already imposed in the Gambia, which we have never seen being caught any students in the Gambia wasting our educational sector, which also bring a big tragedy to the students. So I'm really sure that if the government can do another effort for them to extend a day for us to set prepare for our education, it shall be also very good. So however,
Okay.
the student.
Well, yes, that's quite observant. That's great. But what I would want to know is, looking at the social distancing as one of the key measures when it comes to COVID-19, which was one of the regulations that was set by the Ministry of Health and this other World Health Organization, for people to observe the social distance. And looking at most of the classes that you see, sometimes you have 30 in a class, 40 in a class, sometimes even 50. How do you see these things, how it is going to work when school resume?
Thank you very much. And I know for some tertiary institutions it will never work. About the teachers of semesters, they have said that all classes are supposed to have 30 members in a class, and which will never even work, because if you take the GDPI alone, don't even get enough school, enough classes
Yeah.
for the students to have their lecture, and many students also normally have their lectures outside, which is not even correct. And also, if you take also the number of the students in GDI classroom, it goes more than 60 to 75 students. So where are the other students? If the government says a class is supposed to have 30, so which building are they going to have their lectures if they say that the students will have 30 in a class? And lack of teachers. We have lack of teachers, number one.
Okay, thank you very much. I will still go back to my brother here, Lamin. I want us to look at critically at the elementary students, that is the primary school going children, who are very much vulnerable when it comes to this pandemic, as far as some of these measures are concerned. And like putting on face mask, washing your hands with sanitizers, the social distances. And what's your take on that, with regards to the schools reopening and the COVID-19?
Yeah, you see what the problem with Barrow government is. They always give people press releases, but they never give you any explanatory notes to support the requirements of the press releases or the press statements or the regulations. So they want classroom sizes to reduce. They want social distancing in school. They want people to improve their hygiene measures, cleaning their hands, probably not coughing in public, or probably not being in close proximity of other students, knowing fully well what the conditions in Gambian schools are like.
Okay.
So one, they always playing politics with people. It's exactly the same thing they did with the Tuba Magal, the pilgrimage to Tuba.
Yes.
They'll tell you one thing. They'll say to you, okay, now you can basically go to Tuba, you can travel how you want, but people get to the border and they stop people from crossing. Which is something I can't understand with the Barrow government. Communication, the man himself cannot communicate properly. He employed 4 people to help him and they're all failing. But let's go back to schools. You reduce the classroom size.
Yes.
Like Fadel mentioned, Fadel is very much in touch with the education sector, right? You reduce classroom sizes to 30. What happened to the other students, the extra number of students in each class? Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
Are you telling them to sit at home? And if they're going to sit at home, which students have you specifically contacted and said, you can have your lessons at home, we will help you with the internet, we'll give you money? Because if our country was well organized, some classrooms will have people with pre-existing medical conditions. They are vulnerable medically, all right? They could have said, okay, let's look at the school structure. If one school has got 7 classes of grade 7 or grade 12 or grade 8, we can reduce those classroom sizes depending on who's medically vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then we balance it out that way. Or
Mm-hmm.
you're going to say, okay, every student can come back. You can have a class of 40 people, 45 people, but
Yeah.
each of you will wear a mask all through that period, and each of
Okay.
you will have hand sanitizer every single time you go in and out of the classroom or the school.
Okay.
Did they explain where the budget is for schools to be able to buy hand sanitizer every single day? Several gallons of it, several barrels of it. Who's going to supply
Yeah.
schools hand sanitizers on every given day for kids to
Yeah.
wash their hands in and out whenever they
Yeah.
interact with other people, break time? Who's going to be there to police them? Are the
Yeah.
prefects going to be there to check to make sure the students from different
Yeah.
households don't come together? The
Mm-hmm.
government has got no ability to police these things. The government has got no ability to help our poor students afford hand sanitizers or hand wash facilities. The
Mm-hmm.
government has got no strategy to ensure every classroom is 30 students and have no other students going in classrooms beyond 30. The students will miss out. On what criteria are they going to miss out? How will you say to this class, okay, this week, 7 of you will stay at home, or 10 of you will stay at home, or 15 of you will stay at home because the class cannot have more than 30 students? And if they stay at home, what support mechanism is there to support these students at home? So Barrow, really and truly, as always, it's been a calamity. They cannot communicate. They don't even know what they're doing. It's like having a knife. You got your enemy in the room, but the room is dark. It's quite dark, and you don't know what you're going to do. You're basically stabbing in the dark, hoping that you will get your enemy. You will stab him,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
what they're doing is they're playing politics. They told people, oh, the border is open. If you go to Cuba, it's at your own risk. The border
Yeah.
is open because they heard a threat from Senegal. We told them if they don't open the border for people to go to the Magal, Barrow government is going to collapse. Barrow's
Yes.
people panicked and they
They
opened it.
panic.
But at the
Yeah.
border, they were arresting people for trying to cross the border. So that the Senegalese people will have a feeling that the border is open, but effectively the border
It
wasn't
is.
open. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is the problem
Yeah.
with Barrow government. They are not consistent. They are not organized. They are incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. And unfortunately, the poor sector of the society is suffering. The rich students are having private lessons. They're going to private schools. They're paying for tutors to come to their houses to educate them. What about the 70% poor students or 80%
Yeah.
poor students? What is the government doing to them? The 30 million they spent on online and TV classes were not cost effective. So now, who's paying again? The poor people. The same people who will go and vote for this government back in if we're not lucky. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Lamin Tamba, for that brilliant, wonderful analysis. We'll just take time to read some of these messages and say some of the people who are following, like one like Ibrahim Akoli. Karafa, you are following. Thank you very much, Uncle Fodechor. We are expecting to see you. Uncle Fodechor will be joining us later. And then in Bekai Jaju, Lamin BI, you are following. Thank you very much. Still, yes, my brother Fibel, Mr. Jaju. Can you hear me,
Yes.
Mr. Jaju?
Yeah,
So
I can hear
I
you.
just want to, yeah, can you make a brief analysis or a brief comparison between the JAMES administration when it comes to schools regulations, you know, and the Barracks administration when it comes to students and when it comes to press releases? Because we've seen that, you know, like Lamin Tamba said, Barrow's government, they will give out press release, but it's not accompanied with what are some of the strategies, you know, like they do not explain further in details, you know, what are some of the measures that they are going to take. So can you please give me some analysis in relation with JAMES education?
Okay, thank you very much for that contribution of what my comrade also spoken, Lamin Tamba. And I mean, now here, the comparing between the former regime and also
Yeah.
the new regime. We cannot compare, we cannot compare a chicken with a goat. Impossible. Like what I say is that if we check in Jammeh's regime, Jammeh focus more in terms of supporting the youths and also females in education, and
Yeah.
then making us believe that we have success in our life. and we can bring change in our nation. You can also bring a change that the people in your society, in your continent, Africa, also wanted. Number one, as I go, we have seen how many students did Jammeh took from the Gambia to oversee for education. You cannot even count.
You cannot count.
Jammeh never look whether this. Yeah, you cannot count. Jammeh never look whether you are from this party or you are from the other party. No, what he do as a servant of the people. You understand? So Jammeh, in terms of educational system, Jammeh set a very strong and very critical educational policies, which you know that a student shall learn the way she wants to learn and understand what she's learning to.
Yeah.
But if you check now, it will be very difficult in Barrow's Wigan, saying that, okay, now, if you want a student to be in a class doing whatever you feel has to do without any punishment from any teacher, you shall never punish a student doing something very bad.
Yeah.
Number one contribution.
Yeah.
If you check this year, how many students the government of Adam Barrow took to Morocco for education? It's about 25 students. When in Jammeh's time it goes about 50-something students going for 100 students. And if we check those students in Morocco as I speak, most of them are member of Adam Barrow's government legacy maker because of their family also in support of Adam Barrow. And if you check that one also, it's not also telling well. About more than 200 and something.
Yeah, thank you.
More than 200 and something thousand.
Okay. Yes, continue. I'm following. About 200 and
about something thousand students do. Yeah, Jammeh gives scholarship in 22 years.
Yeah.
And if you check all those people that he gives scholarship, most of them are not even an APRC militant. That means he hazardly that he's a servant of our nation and also a Pan-African. So, and we cannot compare the government of Jammeh and also the government of Adam Barrow. Jammeh's government is far beyond imagination in terms of in leadership and also in terms of educational system and in terms of infrastructure and also in terms of policy making.
And when you're talking about when you are talking about education, it's very broad and it's very wide. And then you also notice that we have what we call private education, that is the private schools. Also, do you think that the minister in her speech, do they have anything catered for the private schools? Like, for example, giving them maybe subsidies so that they can able, or subventions so that they can able to pay their teachers also on because of the pandemic?
No. Okay, for that one also, not to my knowledge, but I'm really sure that the governments have never helped the private schools. So if you happen to be a private school, you must obey the rules and regulations that have been amended by the government, and you must follow it. That means the private schools shall also go and find their own sanitizers and also what they're going to use to protect coronavirus entry into the students. But I wish many people come to board and see what will happen in the Gambia educational system. The education in the Gambia is collapsing. There is no support to private sectors.
Wow, the education sector in the Gambia is collapsing. There is no support. Brother Lamin Tamba, I will get back to you. I'll just take you a little bit backwards, a little bit. If you look at Barrow's administration, following the press release, and there are no strategic measures attached to the press release. So, what do you think would you advise the government, especially when it comes to this, the social distancing, because we understand that students are living from different places, and they will be boarding vehicles, transportation, to their schools. What would you advise when it comes to when it comes to transport?
Well, the problem is the Barrow government. The short answer is the Barrow government cannot do anything about it. That's what I can tell you. They can, but they will not do anything about it because we all saw what happened with the COVID-19 funds. And they squandered them within two months of the coronavirus hitting the country. We all saw the drama, the rumors, the rejection of the job as a COVID-19 coordinator from Red Cross, the Red Cross rejecting that budget or compensation award, the minister himself coming out and saying how corrupt his own officials were when they were
Yes.
fighting over COVID-19 funds.
Yeah.
Some people did the advert for COVID-19 and they still didn't pay them their money that they advertised to help the government educate the people. You know what I'm saying? Some people did the COVID-19 food relief. They were supposed
Yeah.
to pay them 400 every day. As
Yeah.
of last week, they haven't paid them their money. 2 months
Ah.
after they distributed the COVID relief food packages across the country. And rumor has it that not even 30% of the country saw that food relief. And they budgeted for 100% of the 280,000 Gambian households. So if you ask me what the Barrow government is going to do in terms of transport or the journeys of students back and forth to school, I'll tell you they'll do nothing about it. If you ask me whether they'll be able to create the 1 meter distance in the classroom, I would say they'll probably do nothing about it. If you ask me whether they're going to have 30 students in a classroom, I would say that's just politics. It's written on paper, it's not going to be practiced. That's exactly what we've come to see under the Barrow government. This is why
Yes.
whatever they say, no one believes them. Like Fadel said, leadership is by example.
Example.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
By the way, I would just want to push you to another side. Looking at the social distances that the government were very, very, very strict, with the COVID-19 measures. Looking at the social distance, we've seen the president also, recently went on laying foundation stones for the market, and we've seen a lot of people gathered in there without observing that social distance. This also, many people are doubting whether this COVID-19 thing is real in the Gambia.
well, the COVID-19 is real. What's not real is what the government tells us. You understand?
Okay.
The acts of the government.
Mm-hmm.
They tell us not to come together, not to have any gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen Barrow back in June or May,
Mm-hmm.
or was it July? He went to his own village with an
Mm-hmm.
entourage.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was going to inaugurate a police station in his village and a mosque.
Yes, yes,
Yeah? And
yes.
then he had a party with his wife and his friends, and we saw
It was a birthday party, yes.
yeah, we saw the two wives cutting the cake.
Yeah,
Right?
yes.
Right. So leadership is by example.
Example,
If you set
exactly.
the laws, you're gonna make sure even if you break them, nobody catches you breaking them in the open. For Barrow and his people, they don't care. These people sit above the law. They don't care about one thing they tell us. They think this is all a gimmick, it's all a game. So after that, he again went to Hartaland in Yomi or Badibu, North Bank region, to commission a road, which is fine,
Yeah.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
you set up coronavirus regulations, public health
Yes.
emergency regulations, which state that there will be no gatherings throughout the country to ensure the community transmission of coronavirus is halted.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
Barrow went to North Bank region. There was no social distancing. Many of the attendants were children and they didn't have any masks. Nobody sent them home. Even the adults didn't have any masks. They're all bunched up together, and then they're basically going to be vectors for the coronavirus. They'll be
Yes.
transmitting it from one person to the other. Okay?
Yes.
Now, on top of that, Barrow went to Fanafeni again, and
Yeah.
Barrow went to Bassi to open the market. So people are saying, the government said there should be no gathering, there should be no weddings, no mosque congregations, no church congregations, no naming ceremonies, no schools, no classes, and nobody should go to Magali Cuba. And then next minute, the president himself is having large crowds across the country. And he's not even ashamed of himself. He's in the middle of those crowds. He's on video with large numbers of people surrounding him and his entourage. And
Yeah.
then he turns around and says to people, classrooms cannot have more than 30 students.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So, Barrow government really is basically lucky that they're operating in the Gambia. In any other part of the world, the public would have got up today and pushed Barrow out. Because this man from the very first day that he assumed power on foreign land, by being sworn on foreign land, which is again another illegality we need to look at, because the Gambian constitution makes no provision for swearing a president on foreign territory. You understand? From that day on, it's been selective justice, illegality. Selective justice, illegality. And those students that Fadel mentioned that were
Yeah.
selected is back to PPP, where if you're not connected with the government, your dad or mother is not a minister or an MP or a director of a parastatal, you get no scholarship. You get no education. I'll tell you the difference between Barrow and Jammeh. When Jammeh took over, his first line to the students, Gambian youth, everyone was, for education and development of talent on Gambian soil, the
Of
sky
course.
is the limit.
Yes.
Yeah? The
Yes.
sky is the limit. The platform is for everyone. And Jammeh's formula is simple. Create mass education with the aim that with this mass education, out of every 100 students, about 60–70% of them will be brilliant, bright students.
Of course.
And how did he achieve that? He ensured the traveling journey of students in the country has been reduced from 10–12 kilometers return journeys to school to about 5 kilometers return journey to school. Yeah? By 2019, that was going to be 3 kilometers to and from school in the Gambia.
Yes. Yeah.
All right? And by 2019, education in the Gambia was going to be free at all levels up to undergraduate level. So all the UTG students doing their undergraduate way down to primary one would have been free at all levels, everywhere, unless you wanted to send your kids to private school.
But like Mr. Tamba, I don't try to cut you, but many of the people are saying that like Jammeh's education time, like Jammeh's education era the education is not quality, because they said he was building a lot of schools everywhere, even places that you don't have a lot of students. He will build empty skeletal schools without students, without good teachers, and that has affected the education system of the Gambia. Can you justify that?
Well, if Jammeh's education system was poor, today Gambia's justice minister is a result of Jammeh's education system. Jammeh created the law school, and we have a justice minister who basically ensures the government operates legally. It's the point of call when you want to know what your rights are in the country, whether the government is acting responsibly in its relationship with the public and between the institutions of government. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, look at UTG graduates now, managing government departments, working
Yes.
for international agencies and running departments in international agencies.
Yet still they say that. Yes.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way.
Okay.
I'm starving. I'm just about to die. I'm thirsty. Somebody brings me a loaf of bread with no butter in it, no nyambi in it, no akara in it, and then I turn around and say to the person, "You've given me poor quality food." Before Jammeh, we were starving. No university, nothing. All right? Those who went to high school had to be helped to go to high school if they're from poorer background. Under Jammeh, there is this culture in the Gambia before Jammeh came, where parents were not sending their women. Again, this is why every Gambian woman today should support APRC. And I'll tell you why. All right? I'll tell you why.
Sorry, before you go there, I will just want you to reflect on before Jammeh came. According to history, most of the students who used to go to school in those days, our brothers or our fathers, have been carrying tables, and seats to go to school.
Yes, and
is that true?
I was the last part of kids that carried stools to school, because as soon as I went to high school, I think Form 2 or Form 3, Jammeh took over government.
Okay.
You understand? So I was not part of the students who benefited from having desks and chairs in their classroom. You understand? My school did have desks and chairs round about primary 4, grade 4 to grade 6. But primary 1 to 2, I think we were sitting in places or carrying our stools to school. Yeah? So now, look at it this way. You go to school, you have to carry your stool and your table to school. You understand? You have to do that every day if people come to your school and steal your stool and table, because if you keep leaving it there, they're going to steal them.
Yes.
Because some of the classrooms didn't even have doors at the time. Goats and sheep will come in there and pee everywhere and poo everywhere. You go in the morning, you have to clean these classrooms.
Yeah.
You understand? And if they're telling us that Gambia's education system is not good, it's producing poor graduates, how come Henry Gomez and Barrow himself cannot speak simple English when they went to Jawara school under Jawara?
That was good.
How come they're speaking basic English they cannot command, but they went to school under Jawara?
Under Jawara's rhythm,
You know
yes.
Tell me any Barrow minister today in Barrow's government or Jamna's government, a Gambia graduate like Sidi Jai who graduated from UGB. Tell me those people cannot speak basic English. None of them.
Yeah, the likes of Momodu Sabali, Yakumba Jaite.
Yeah, Momodu Sabali arguably one of the best writers on Gambian soil right now.
Gambian pen.
Yeah? One of the best orators on Gambian soil right now. You mentioned UDP's Yakumba Jaite. She will never say anything against Jammeh's education system. That was just the secretary. She'll never say anything against Jammeh's second stuff. Even people like Esa Fall and Batambi worked on the Jammeh. In fact, there's rumor that Esa Fall had scholarship on the Jammeh's government. He propelled all of them. He said the sky is the limit for every Gambian child. No matter where you come from, the remotest of villages. If your papers were good, Jammeh gave you scholarship. About, if I can remember, nothing less than 65,000 scholarship in 22 years.
Wow!
To tertiary institutions. Of that 10,000, a large chunk was universities overseas, and he's not related to any of them. Jammeh's relatives are little. He never had a sister from direct mom and dad. And I don't think a brother either from the same mom and dad.
Yeah.
So everyone he helped is either, oh, I'm Jammeh, your uncle's son, or I'm from Sari Bojo, or I'm from Arankon, or I'm from Sari Alpha, or I'm from Bollet, from somewhere that Jammeh knew nothing about. He did so well for Gambia education-wise to a point where the sky was no longer the limit. He was mentioning planet Mars all the time.
Oh my God!
And if he had the ability to take
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lamin. Thank you very much.
Or 4 days here.
Yes, Lamin Tamba. Thank you very much. I will seize this opportunity to welcome another panelist. That is my son here, Uncle Fode Chor. Welcome to the APRC Live. Welcome to another edition. We're talking about education because we all believe that education is the foundation to any successful nation. These are some of the things that Jammeh realized. That's why he laid the foundation stone for access to education. Despite the criticism, many people will criticize that the education is not quality. So that's why you met us. Welcome once again, Uncle Fode Chor. Can you say hi to the viewers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jody, Mr. Tamba, and Fadel Judge. I want to say good evening to the viewers and those listening. I want to thank God, Alhamdulillah, for giving me the opportunity to be on the APRC-TV. So I want to thank you, and I said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Maalaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much, Uncle Fode Chor. I will get back to you again. I just wanted to, in relation to education, we've seen that Jammeh did promise that Gambia College would be free. And right now, we've seen that many students are facing difficulties in terms of paying their fees or their tuition fees in Gambia College. and schools are reopening in a few days. According to the Minister of Education, who made a press release that schools are resuming. Therefore, we are looking at the pandemic, the coronavirus, the effect it has in the lives of the students as they are resuming right now back to schools. People or students whose parents are finding it very difficult to put food on the table now that they are about to go to school in this pandemic. We've not seen whereby government would say that maybe they're going to cut down their fees of the students. We've not seen whereby government will want to provide hand sanitizers for the students as they are about to resume schools. So this is the discussion. So I would want to ask you, Uncle Fodesor, what's your take on that?
Well, first of all, I want to say sorry, but you expect me to give you a technical or whatever it is. And I've been following a bit by bit on the issue of the opening of school at this current situation in the Gambia. What I want to say, as far as I am concerned, it is very important because of the pandemic, the narrative of everything in the world has changed.
Sure.
And so therefore, we as a nation are responsible to also change the narrative of the situation in the country.
Okay.
The education subsector is one area. And if we have to live, we have to live with the virus. But what is very important is we have to be able to manage this virus, to be able to open school in a COVID-19 safe and secure environment. That is the most important thing. We know that today we are living with the COVID-19. If we are to open school, across the board, from the lower level, primary school, secondary school to the tertiary institution, the most important thing that the government or those responsible for the education sector should be able to provide a very secure and safe environment for the education, for the learning and teaching process to take place. Okay. How do government do this? They have to come out with plan. And like my land friends put across, there has not been any plan whatsoever put across from the Ministry of Education to say, working in collaboration with the state and also other stakeholders to outline that let's take it from the lower level, that's the primary school. When I was teaching, the number of children in classes used to be 45. And probably to take it to a lower level, it might be 35. So where you have a classroom of 35 with only one teacher, and these children are coming out from different homes, and when they come, they don't live in double, because they live in groups, and when they go back home, they live in different groups, different homes. What did the government put in place for that safe and secure environment? That is my biggest worry. The other thing is when you come to education, education is, it's dynamic. But let's check out the actual activities in the learning and teaching process, where there is a contact between the teacher, the teacher and the material and the children, to bring about to facilitate teaching and learning environment. What have they done to make those environments safer? I heard LAMIN mention something which is very important. Let's take an example on a particular primary school, St. Peter. The children are coming into the school. What did they put in place for the children to observe the scientific or the recommended medical preventive measures put in place by the WHO and the Ministry of Health? That is washing your hands regularly, wearing masks, because most of the children in the primary school, apart from primary 1 and 2, most of them are above 11. So they should be wearing masks. In our classroom situation, is it possible for those people to be in the classroom wearing masks? How are the teachers going to manage the health situation there? The 2 meters distancing, is it going to be observed? No, that's not possible. Are they going to put them in bubbles as they do in other places? It's not possible. So is the ministry really, really ready to open school for us in a safe and secure environment? That's the first thing parents should have. The other thing is, how on earth can you imagine after 7 months of closing school. Of course, the parents are calling for it. People are calling for it because we have seen, Adam Barrow and his people out, gathering in a large crowd. So if you're saying, if the president can do that, then schools can open. If the president can do that, then markets can open. If the president can do that, then other public places can open. But the school environment is a different thing. Now, what
But
do you do for that?
if you see, following the recent happenings, you see today that most of the students themselves are demanding that the government to reopen schools because they want to go to school. And you, as a parent, from a parent guideline, would you advise or would you be in a position to expose your child or to tell your child to go to school with this current situation without knowing fully the government has never provided ways or any strategies of like social distancing, providing hand sanitizers for the students or masks or things like that? Would you, from a parental point of view, would you want your child or to expose that child to that kind of conditions to go to school?
This is not about an individual parent also. This is a national issue.
Yeah.
The pandemic issue is a national issue. Going back to school is a national issue. What is very important is what the Gambian people or the parents should call for is a medical and a scientific approach so that the situation is safe for people to be able to do that. If to use a scientific and a medical approach require certain bills, who are going to put that bill? That in terms of, at the moment, the parents are putting the bill of providing uniforms, whether you know it or not. I'm involved.
I know that.
Providing shoes and all the other things. They are putting the bill. Government is not giving them anything. When you have already asked people to stay home, not to open their businesses, not to socialize, not to do anything. So now they're going to put that bill. What is government doing to provide a safe, secure environment? The Gambians should say, this is not political. This is the concern of the health of our children, who are our future leaders. So this is very important for us to be able to echo this to the public to understand that the government are asking our children to go back, but they have not put anything in place to secure and create a safe environment for them. Yeah, that's my view. But as a parent, I got no choice. When school opens, my child has to go to school. If he didn't go to school, if I stop her from, or him or her from going to school, they will even go to school because they want to go back to school. That's their ambition. They want to go to school.
But you already, but you know that as a parent, you know that definitely the government is not providing, safety measures for your child, and you still, the love that you have for your children, you still send them to school.
Now this is where we have to turn to the political aspect.
Okay.
That is to tell the people to make a well-informed judgment. Yes. Because we gave them our power, we gave them our economy, we gave them everything to run the country. And education in anywhere is paramount. Look, when I used to be a teacher and when I was a union representative, I used to carry a banner saying, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Because the reason why today we are in this mess is because of the ignorance, the brainwashing that they did to change a system that was there, providing education to the doorstep of the ordinary Gambian people, making it very accessible, making it very affordable, and making it very relevant.
Accessible.
Yeah, and also accessible. This is what the government was doing. Today, even if the APRC government was in power, they would have provided a solution like they did when the Ebola case came. Even if they could not have even stopped it coming into the Gambia, but they would have provided a means or a scientific approach to make sure that the environment is secure for children to go to school. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for that brilliant analysis, looking at from different angle, from a political perspective and from a parent point of view. Thank you very much, Uncle Fodejor. Just to remind viewers that you're watching the APRC online TV with your host, I am Halifa Ijajo, also known as the APRC, the PANJAK Gambia. With my host here, you still have Lamin Tamba is on, Fibel Jaju, my brother, is also on. Right now, I'll just go through some of these messages. The Mighty Green, I said Dudu Baji, he's also following us. Thank you very much. Our Jemme, Karafa, and the others, all those who are following us online, we are saying thank you very much. I will still get back to Fibel. Fibel, I understand before Jammeh left. I understand before Jammeh left, he did promise free education, you know, even up to the university level. And now that is not happening. I've also found out that in Gambia College, students are paying. I don't even know whether they are still receiving stipend or they are not receiving stipend. If you have any information, can you shed more light on that? And in relation with the COVID-19, looking at that, looking at this pandemic, most of our parents, or if not all of our parents right now, economically they are not very strong to pay our school fees or put food on the table. Right now, schools are reopening. What's your take on that?
Okay, thank you for Uncle Chor. He has spoken well. And our education today in the Gambia is a very big tragedy. And as a student leader, I serve as the vice president of the Gambia Students Union and also GDDI Students Union. And if you take the Gambia College, as of now, when in Jammeh's regime, it was free education, and also we also have a stipend being given for the students. But as I speak now, no stipend, and then the students are even paying to have our lectures. And after paying those money for you to have your lectures, you will never even have a classroom to sit, and even to have your lectures in a very confinable area. So, but now if the government are saying that we should have a precautionary measures about the COVID-19, that all the Gambia students shall go back to schools, where are we going to go? Where are we going to be in class? In which place? Which child is going back home and who is also staying at the school? And also, if the government says that it's supposed to be a double shifting, that means who's supposed to do a double shifting? Are we also coming back from morning from 6 to 6 for all the lectures? My brother, I wish you are under my foot today and see the pain and the suffering we the students in the Gambia facing.
But I will take you a little bit back. I think when Barrow just sworn in and he came to the Gambia, I think he made a statement. He said that electricity would be history in the Gambia. Just give him 2 years, he's gonna fix that one, and it's not happening. And that's not happening. And we understand also right now with this pandemic, parents are going to face it very, very difficult to pay for their kids or their sons and daughters who are attending Gambia College right now without even receiving stipend. And government in their press release, especially the education minister, did not lay out any strategies or any measures that are going to be taken when it comes to addressing the issues of fees. Maybe in her press release, she could have included like, okay, government will come with a subsidy, and then for students who are in the tertiary institution, we will be paying half of your the government will be paying half. But we have seen that they have provided some bags of rice and onions during the beginning of the pandemic. So this time, would you take a judgment to tell me that this government, are they truly serious, or do they have the students at heart?
The government don't come to support the students. I will say loud and clear that the Gambian government don't even come to support the students. When the Gambian government were even coming to power, it's called this Barrow's regime. Their main target was that how are we going to interrogate Jammeh and his associates? It's a government of revenge.
But I remember, but I remember in 2016, it was the same students who were saying that no, let Jammeh go off, let Jammeh go off.
Not those students. I can bet you that the entire students of the Gambia are even sick and tired of this government. We did not support Barrow to come back in power or whether Jammeh to leave the seat. But they get on local standard students who support their agenda, saying, okay, now the political science students in the University of the Gambia shall also go out and say, okay, we will boycott the classrooms, that if Jammeh don't go, we are not going.
Yes.
But now, if Jammeh is paying my education, shall I allow Jammeh to leave?
Thank you very much for that wonderful and brilliant analysis there. I would just want to read out this. Action Man is following us right now with the APRC live online live. It says in 2019 it was going to be free education for all levels of education in the Gambia, and now that students are crying because scholarship program is cancelled. This is a message coming from Honorable Balagaba Jahupa, known as the Action Man. And then LAMIN TAMBA.
Yeah.
Yes. With regards to education, you know, because we understand Jammeh really knew that education for any nation to progress,
Yeah.
you know, we need education.
Yeah.
And that's why he did all efforts to make sure that he laid that foundation stone for education for the youths of the people of the Gambia.
Yeah.
And who are the people who have been educated is the young people. The schools is the kids, and the students who are going there are what? Youths. The University of the Gambia are youths. Even some old who did not have that opportunity during Jaro's era, we've seen some of them are going to this same university and they are benefiting from that.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So I would want you to be precise on what is your advice when it comes to the free education that Jammeh promised the students of the Gambia.
Yeah.
What would you advise the Gambian on that?
Well,
the free scholarship.
Education. Jammeh knew the value of education. He's seen his brothers and sisters and many people lose out on opportunities in life because they couldn't get educated. One, because there were not enough schools in the country. Number two, there were fees that many families couldn't afford. Number three, the cultural practices of not sending women to school. All right? So Jammeh knew from a very early age that he has got friends and family who couldn't be educated because of these barriers. Schools are too far, and then people cannot get guardians to live with when they get admitted to secondary school or high school. And when they get that, then they have another problem of paying fees. And on top of that, then they graduate to finish high school, which is the highest, which is the level in Jammeh's era where you beat your chest that you're very intelligent, you're very accomplished before Jammeh came. You finished high school, you're very accomplished, you're intelligent. You run the biggest government department unless you're connected to the government and they sent you to the UK, to the United States, to Australia to get your undergraduate or postgraduate. The poorer students or middle class under Jawara, for the poorer ones, were sent to Sierra Leone for a day or Nigeria or Ghana, which is nothing wrong. I think education in Africa is very hard, it's rigorous. Without the technology at the time, you had to know your stuff to be able to pass the exams.
Yeah.
All right? So Jammeh knew the value of education. The Chinese knew the value of education. This part of the world, which is 400 years ahead of us, knew the value of education. That's why they had universities 400, 500 years ago. Right? So now, Jammeh knew, like the Chinese would say, if you want to help somebody for a day, or for a year, help them plant rice, which means short term, right? So if you want to help somebody eat, just give them, spoon feed them. If you want to help somebody for 10 years, plant a tree. If you want to help somebody for 100 years or forever, educate them. You understand?
And Jammeh knew that.
Jammeh knew for the future of Gambia, education is the foundation. And education in 1994 is criminal. After 432 years, despite all the goodwill, how Jawara was hailed, how PPP was hailed across the world as a beacon of democracy, an exemplary democratic state. In 1994, not to have a university on Gambian soil was criminal. Not only that, if you had a radio, because people learn via various means. One is academic, sitting in class. There's another one called street wisdom, like Abraham Lincoln, who taught himself by listening and observing and reading under candlelight. All right? So if you're not sitting in class, you watch on TV, you know how they did certain things in Sierra Leone, in Nigeria, in UK, in US. We didn't have a television station in the Gambia in 1994. Again, another criminal offense. Yeah, in 1994, we didn't have a national radio station. They used to call it national radio station. But people like us, when we went to the combos on holiday going back, you would be sitting in the gelegeles or other public transport. As soon as you pass Kafuta, the signal starts scrambling. You hear them go, you can't hear the radio anymore. Yeah? In 1994, 95, all that changed.
Yeah.
They changed the Radio Gambia transmitters. They rebranded it with the television station and called it GRTS.
Yeah.
The remotest village in the country will tune into Radio Gambia and listen to it. Yeah? It becomes so functionable. Every part of the Gambia you were at, not only did you watch television, but it was a colored television. And number two, you were listening to television in English. When we were little, we were watching television in French. We were forced to understand French on a black and white TV with scrambled signals.
Yeah. Then we were then we used to watch. I remember those days where we used to go to a whole compound and be watching black and white. That is Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal. And next thing you see, scrambled signals.
Yes.
Bam, cut off. Yeah. This was the reality before 1994. For kids who are not over the age of 30, 35, they will not know these things. They've been fed a lot of lies by their parents, their older siblings. That the worst monster they came across or they ever saw was Jammeh. But they didn't tell them the status quo before 1994. They didn't tell them the deep, dark pit that Jammeh lifted us out of before 1994. There was no tarmac on Gambian soil apart from Banjul to Westfield. There was no tarmac on Gambian soil before Jammeh came.
Yeah.
No tarmac. That man took Gambia from white cocoa shell roads that were repaired every rainy season to tarmac like the North Bank region, which has lasted the test of time. 25 years later, that road is still going strong. It's strong, it's brilliant. He built Gambia to last, education to last, roads to last, hospitals to last, university to last. That man, they will have absolutely very little to complain against. Yes, Gambia is not perfect. People don't like the prophet who was sent by God. People don't like God himself.
Of course.
Who are we to think everyone is going to like Jammeh?
Yeah.
Yeah? With all that record, which I just found out all in 2017, and I thought, hang on, why would I support any other party who's against equality and diversity and this development footprint? Unmatched. 432 years of desolation, of destitution, of looting, of corruption, totally obliterated in 1994 to where we are today. Every single thing Barrow is inaugurated, the Jammeh project, feasibly studied, application, funding applied for and approved before he left office.
Thank you very much.
Strategy market, which then Sudan kind of claimed. It was Yankuba College project.
Yeah, that was Yankuba's last project. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lamin Tamba. Thank you very much. You know, it's always good to have you here. It's your brother Halifa Ijaju, also known as PANJAK Gambia. Thank you very much. I'm sending shout outs to my people who are following right now. Yaya Baji, the chairman of Jammeh must come back. We are seeing you. Mustafa Koli, Ibrahima S. Koli from Dabong. Thank you very much. Mbokk yi maa ngi leen di jaajëfal di leen gërëm di leen sant yéen mi ma nekk di seetaan si jamono bi nga xam ne yéen a ngi seetaan APRC online TV live Facebook conversation seen xarit seen doomi ndey ki nga xam ne moo nekk Lamin Tamba moo ñu teewal fële si UK branch bi yaa ngi am ki nga xam ne moo nekk Fadel Jaaju moom mu ngi nekk si student wing bi nga xam ne moo nekk fële Gambia College yaa ngi am oncle Fodé Thior nga xam ne suma doom la moom tam mu ngi UK moo ñu teewal foofu noonu si APRC bi kon maa ngi leen di jaajëfal bu baax a baax di kontaan si yéen di leen jaajëfal bu baax a baax yéen a ngi topp programme bi Uncle Fodé Thior, I am coming in Mandinka again for the benefits of the listeners. Mbadingol mbal tentula mbal jaila kal faale ko bi programme o ngamin sotale lokum APRC live program online program bi ngamin sodale wala nyinti Uncle Fode Chor aning Lamin Tamba aning Fabel Fana soto mi alanko abotana Gambia College Student Wing wala nata pour kam mabe na nyim programme wala APRC de ndol manna nyim platform mo manna ka mo kaja fi bare min be kerim pour ka yitande mulla moli kalam tandiro ke aning ka mol se faham ro fana ke because sanim diamo siata sanin nata ngaje ko COVID-19 aketa mol ko temi alan ko amie mol be sula mbe pandemic ko nyine kono andung sani ngaje ko Ministry of Education butung ay press release ke a few days ago ka yitande ko karim mongol nyanta ka yalele so Uncle Fode Chor lafta yes somarin dinke ngamin kacha jang in Mandinka please.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I just want to ask for your kind permission. I want to elaborate on something before coming into Mandinka, because it's important that we are able to differentiate those two. I mean, something has been said about the present situation with the tertiary institution like Gambia College. And then Lamin also talked about before 1994. I mean, what I want to say, there are most students today in the Gambia College who were born in 1994. They are 26, 27 years. Most of those people don't even know what happened in 1990 or 1988. Yeah. 88, 89, 90. Because then they were not born. They were born in 1994, so they didn't see what happened.
Yes.
I mean, I was lucky to be, to go to school in the late part of 70s and early 80s. And I was lucky to be a teacher as well. I want to just give you a scenario.
Yes.
During the time of the PPP review, due to rampant corruption and incompetent government, and coupled with the drought, there was no economist in the PPP regime that could rescue the country from the downfall of the economic situation in the country. To an extent, they have to involve the IMF and the World Bank to come and rescue us. And the reason behind all that was rampant corruption and lack of providing the necessary facilities for the citizens. Some of the institutions Lamin mentioned already. But what two sectors that were hard hit, or three sectors, were food security, education, and health. I want to give you something. When the IMF came, they introduced what they call economic recovery program, because our economy was completely failed. Has completely failed. So the economic recovery program, when you come to the education subsector, what it discovered was unbelievable. So I don't want to go into that, just tell quickly.
Yes.
After the economic recovery program, there is something that they introduced, program for sustainable development.
Okay.
And during the ERP, a lot of teachers were, there was a lot of retrenchment, and the education sector suffered a lot. That was the year that I came to become a teacher. I became a teacher in 1987. The classroom I was handling was 88 people, 2 classes put together, primary 4, and I was teaching primary 6 at Mandinarim Primary School. I was paid $232 every end of month. That is 1987. That's not too long ago. And the policy that the PPP government had at the time was called TESITO. The people got to provide the classrooms, either it's got to be mud block or just a shed where the children will go outside and attend their lessons. They don't care. So what has changed that after 1994 is when Jammeh came, he built primary schools, senior secondary schools, and then junior secondary school, senior secondary school to a university level. So the children who were born in 1994 wouldn't know that what they found there was not there before they were born. So we have to have a special program to clarify those points to the people to understand.
Yes, so, Uncle Fode Chor. Yes.
When Jammeh came, education, his policy was education, the sky is the limit.
It's the limit, yes.
And by 2019, we will have free education. Elected
Yes.
public to take. Gambia College, there are two types of intakes in Gambia College. We have what we call pre-services and in-service. The pre-service used to stay in the college, and also they are given stipend, and they are, everything is looked after by government. In our next program, I will tell you how government Gambia College came to be an independent entity, because an act of parliament established and also put up a board that is responsible for the administration of Gambia College. Now today, the Gambia College students are paying $12,000 per annum to study, either to become a teacher, a nurse, or an agricultural, or whatsoever, public health. On top of that, today, they have announced that Gambia College will be open. On top of their 12,000, they will be paying $1,000 in order for them to be able to provide the necessary things for them to be able to observe the hand wash and all whatnot, the recommended or scientific to be able to go into school. And their face-to-face lecture will only be twice in a week, in some cases once. So you see,
meaning instead of government intervening to subsidize, but I have said, meaning our recent government, instead of coming in because of the pandemic to subsidize so that they will reduce the burden on the parents for the students, it's like, you know, they want to add another 1,000 on top of their 12,000 that they are paying. When Gambia has already announced that by 2018 free education, so it's like they are missing that. And right now the government that the students are supporting, you know, this government also, they are punishing them again by charging them school fees. Now that because of the COVID-19, the students are expecting that the government, they are going to cut down their bills. Now they are adding another 1,000 on top of their school fees. That's serious.
Exactly. In a nutshell, that's what I'm saying. Instead of government substituting, they are asking them to. And Adama Barrow went on a stage to tell the whole Gambia, not only are we going to provide food for the second round, but we are going to provide financial help to parents when the students cannot even get their, tuition fee. Anyway, that is something that I want to add up. But what APRC and up till now we still continue. We have 3 programs. We introduced STAGE. It is a program implemented in the country. We introduced it on 2020. We endorsed everything. We also had what we call free education for girls. That is a specific program. I forgot the name, how they call it, but that is another thing. If we are in power by now, we have seen all girls going to school free. In fact, that was there. And attending university from nursery school to university free education. And I can tell you that up till the time that Jammeh left, the Gambia University was the cheapest. So that most of the people within the sub-region used to come to the Gambia to obtain their first degree. So therefore, we, the APRC government, we took education as a human right, and we gave it the top priority. And like Jammeh said, the sky was the limit. So,
yes, because most of the cases, what happened is you are always late coming. I always want so that you can deal with the history. To start with. I was late to add you here. I was late to see you here.
Yes, you are late. Not me.
Yes, I was late to see you here anyway. Okay. Thank you very much, Uncle, for the call. I come in for the benefits of the Mandinka listeners and those who can understand the local language, the Mandinka. So, Uncle, for the just take a marathon recap of just what you've just concluded, and in summary of Lamin Nyol Fanang, Yemin Fanang, Kool Min Kacha Jando Manding Yafo Nimbadi Mandinka Kamol.
Okay, but
don't forget that
Mandinka. Sometimes it will be nice for an happen in Kasi that they understand.
Okay.
Okay. Bari ngol mi Berola Anila Morola. Albe APRC-TV. television oleto mimbe ale programme o tamanale wolum Usman Jaditi ka fay Panjak Gambia Panjak malum ban Gambia Panjak la follow but that will be ningam APRC Mantakundana.
Point of correction, I am Halifa. Usman is Panjak UK. I am Halifa.
Lamin APRC France la PRO. If anything, just for Muta ko ke nga most of the ikafme ko Fabel Jaju Jolal kafme Fabel aw bukan ke
Ngaro
Fabel malum pale wala ne bang atum Fabel Jaju a telebe maraling karamunto dinngol la bulole min kamam dinngol la police ko andu APRC la student wing ka telebe maraling ala oto mba jeylam mba tet lawla do witan la molla ko karamunto dinngol kata karam ebi ala nyaal Fabel tente mi ya lon ko ila ka kafuje se kafuje ina se nyomoy ni wo boda je kaga min bije bi wolam ngalon ne ko albala kuron ke anu ay clear element aman ko bokama APRC la television minka kata samanam bi awole samanam pour nga kata aje ko karambul bundalde ifele bina yelela andu ibeni be yelela dalilu jamal lekam anin tunku jamal lekam to mo jamal bi jam min yalu ko diamol minke nda be fono la yemin foko kabri dol kuma tanki je barin kami tande do wolo nyantolom pour karamole yele nyantolom pour dinngol yele londo so nyantolom pour man takunda wuli ay lo aje ko karamo bundani ay yirwa andu nin kuran keso min nata sanna kamunta ko nabi jan nin kulo mandin kol kam ko silam fon sa pundi nayti otumo nga diale namra ko lun tangol membe na meta bita par silam na kundile fon na si bayri man takunda membe jang ila miro nin fero doya kolentale faya tinna ko kuran keso nin na janjango ni adaka la faale aka wajab ni ngata ko abe wajabi lay ka fa ka wajabi nyami wolom mol min ka sutiya nyobala ka bulodi nyola waran kuran nin keso abe fonyole kon ayda ika ni jile waran ay boyda kono ay lama yam ko nyanta ferol kelan ka bulolu tu nkan dalu mo nkan jampanyol so ni wole tankoti bayri mampengo sutala amdu mampol so dum ben tankala president no loi jawle loi kandringol le landin jamanke loi jawde loi kandring ko molte puntila molta marseto molte kafla nyokan ani ni sango keta mo kana tambi mota nim kulyo keta mo kana tambi mota so ni wo keta ate fo na tayo be ke fo lunkiling ngaje to ngawulta ka kata berelalla so akamunta ko atelo ka foni ay molle kuman to mol nata wosi dati ni atar ko karam mol be sorone ko man la fin na dindingol e kafnyo kan bayri ni kuran ka sotole tila ning atara ko president fo dum fo kata ka funti bang ani mol ka yayo aka ka fu mol ka e ka nyeka ota se karam mol yele ngamra wo kumonin ani woni nin karonin woyatina mim marta londola musundi wonin ko odo bi ay an kibaro di ko karambol be yele ndul kam wosi da ko APRC man sakunda karambol la yelon te tan karam mu wajibilati anu banku dingola dentol andum bi pour kan banku dingol karan wolon kuti mi yalon kan nenta tan to le kuti mimbe santo ka dum banko mi yalon ko amu banko ti mim mu jahilo ti mim londo soto o mu banko ti mimbe tardel o kamma ni atra karambol be yele uta simple le nyanta tala e bundali yele lal jibe dami yalon e jaral bundali yalande nyami anin ni ala bo min marta jata kende ala e silol nin tankol min landi fo man dolla man sakunda e landi le karambol to pour tindingol ni putata karamu iten mano nyamin kele nin tindingol nyanta tala karamu to ka karam e nyanta karana damin ila dulani nyanta kala dulati dami yalon ko tanko bi yele an ko itale tele yata ko ninu de ni tata je itani e kurango janjandi no la wara ta sukno la nanji andun kamin je wolom dindingol ko suul kono e manke sukilin dindingol ni nata ka ke tierol le ka ka folle ko e manke ka kilin ni boto karam moti kata ko dole ko ni boto ka foko te kata suul le ko so dindingo ko ke agent mi yalon ko nin kurango nin asa samba na samba oto fo man sakunda e silul le landi min seneyata ba ko kabrin kurango funti folota mol ka bul kurango sang ka jiol sang ka tasalol sang ka boketol sang ko man sakunda o londile bang itaje karambu fana ise tankano ni na dinngol bota sokono mi yalon ko imam courant soto eta karambu to kana courant bonna karambu to ka samana sokono bore bu sokono courant be da me kana karambu so APRC TV ndol kan mi bosi dale tan di molla min ke la moy ko ndol la ni man sakunda de kabri sa karambu le dale ni iman tanko mi yalon ko to pere landi min se tanko di karambu to dinngol kata silandum ay ñinin karo ke fo ntol mi yalon kon tolam alfati fo bayri ngaje ko manke fombe na dinol bulalay tabang ngani de tandala ko tonya ñim manke mo kunkilina kuti ñimmu banko be la hataji pole nim man takunda min nganna sembo di tollella nganna kodo di tollella nganna fanko di tollella pure banko tamani anum bunda min kamunta ko karango nin karandiro ube laring itolle bulo ko o de nyanta fenne tan dam wala mi yalon ko ananta mo duso falale ay mol sono mo tenkundi ko nin dingo tata karam moto de ade sasa sunno la sasa mi yalon ko namun tara kate man toro ay ken tul fana man toro woton teta fono la o alfata fono la dingo tata karam moto kato mimbe alfal moto bi kabriyo fo ni be karam mo yele aske nyaaw nyaati aje ko alfal de tonya imantara do ko la kayri tele ko min be business o la business o soro minu ka kataning bulma kalan do ko la wala man randi sol ko sa mol minu kata bato tan wol bu ka nyeso do bari Chinese sol ni Senegalais ni European ni na bako mol minu yalan ko wolle ka do ko ke tourism wala bunda sorong wol ma tourist tubabol kana tous man so mo wuli tannani wolle fote la do ko la tourism yo wul tannano jibe kilina mo alfale tani karambo daile in the mid of the month karo tema imantara jang anu alfani wala nyanta karamuntu dinni wala karambo uniform sanna atel nyanta samoto sanna atel nyanta bago sanna atel nyanta la bukol sanna atel nyanta kala lunch yala nyanta kata so alfa mi yalon kam dol bije wol man do ko soto dol bije ko wol yela bije ko soro dol bije ko ka do ko kuma ni nanga dol bije wol man penne so bay do ko kala min do mandingo min ka soto e ko wolte kala dimbal balu man sakunda man bunda bondinu pour kanin jube bo fa no fala nyami alfali da kamando ko alfalu itolle go bil woto ni tito sasa ta kotake ate alfa kilingole binala ko do bundla do man dimbi sot ko kawdi ni mo ja man sakunda e moneta e bulu ma fen jamale di minister of education ka fo ale nyindi karam mun to naton kolla isaji se yinkeno nin don koti mi yalan ko APRC ko wala mo si dai tan mi molle ni atran tolle man sakunda le binun ke APRC bi naton kolle pero le fayla anim ni ron mi yalan be dinni wol tankalal e tial tanka e karandiro ke la mi ko al halo saniyata ando al halo tankata pour karamo se keno je ninna
thank you very much
ando tamba to bi jam minden kono atele marta e karamun to dinningol min ya allon ko itol fana e da ko karambo la pulo ci ko le kono katum soma itol bi kala soma nyaton ko ni be karamola be la dulal jubele la taka karamo minu karang ite politiko fana karanno e nyaton kaya karanti kilimbe kono wolom fabel jaaju o babel jaaju fana ala wosi day tan anin kol ya da fondin kelbe min soto kan karambo da ako polo ni ya jube ako jannin nyim man sakunda min bota je min keta yaya jamela nyaton kayati anin APRC ako ala yalon kila lo ye da soto katu modolu bije ila alfalu bulol me ko be bari man sakunda ni yaya jamme ton afongola kodo akata kadindi karambo to kadindi wala karambo jo min yalon ko ila alfalu bulo me kobe ako bari bibe wosi dal ko dolbije wol ke mirale fango ibe min do mala surtout ka karambo ke la dingol la karambo so karambo to dingol fango be wosi dal to mbola ya nyinin kay ka ko bari kabri ya jamme impaso be keri iko karambo to dingol dol funtale ko ilafta ya jammeta ako bi akama ngol atema kalam to de andu atepe wonte de bari bi idunta karambo bunda kabri university don kana duma ni nyini kay be man tra contande nyima sakundale be siri and wo mo leti min yalan ko itambita sanji tan anin seyolal wo mo leti min yalan ko itambita sanji tan anin konon tolal o do fana e kama sotole ye wadi bo sotole pour ka jibe man sa mimbe charle nyato ko te ken carte fay donata silanga tude tolle bul ka jibe ko nyim mimbe je bi we na fa fenna la londo yiri wandili fo fana as tol bi ni pareta e be sila ka kata ka jibe nyanta fayla mo jumalle min be la nyato soma sinin betende la itandi ko joro e kamimbo yamin lay kansan otumo ya jamela man sakunda ni dunta Gambia college misali fe
ika dunjele buka fenjo man sakunda fan kamur ko take aka kudo gondi ka busi nango dila mi yalon ko satano ika domoro min ke do gambe ko ibuka jo ako wato kol sone hata je ba bare biabe dami onin kol patata nyo bala ba ni be dunna gambe ko bi pour ka karanje pour ce que tu as wara ce que agriculture dokulati wara ke nosoti wara ke public health office nosoti wara ke agriculture dokulati ite fongole ka jo sal ika jelle jo wolom wulitan anin fula ko wole jo songo ko oto do ba dingo aka munta ko ite pa wole nyanta o jole wara ke fongo ika aya borim pour ka soto kawjo anun jama fana binuka de marodi na buta man sakundala babo dol min ka sponsorship ke ka scholarship di ka mol ma koy min be bandala banko to ka mol ma wol fana nin kurama ya koliyandi le fo itol fana la fanko nin tata duma to ma koy ro de wosot la ko na man sakunda mam ma koy ro keje ika ma koy ro min control wolon political ma koy ro be mano dilal be ko do dilal par sama alfal nin ta ko mani ma sakunda membe sirin ila education ni president no ma ko je nin non ko molti mi yalla ka nin kuma kende jamale min fo nakilo se mimmano ngapale wono ntemurun ko take
abaraka bake but my name is Halifa Jaju. Usman Panjak is Wolebe UK. Halifa Panjak Wolebe Gambia. Wala nanko wala nanko Panjak Gambia. Gambia be betiale inshallah. Lamin, I will get back to you. I would just want to ask you what's your viewpoint as an APRC stronghold of APRC. Looking at Barrow set those laws, in observance of the COVID-19 strict laws, and he broke them.
Yeah.
He broke them by not observing the social distance. And we've also seen our other colleagues in the political arena, like the UDP, also, they're making public gatherings and they are not observing this social distance. So I would like to ask you, why do you think that APRC, they are not still coming out, to break the rules like the Barrow and the UDP and other political persons? Why do you think that APRC you still?
Well, I always say, Barrow is lucky that the biggest opposition in the Gambia is a very well-disciplined party. And the biggest opposition to him right now in the Gambia is APRC. Now, although we can break the emergency regulation, like Barrow himself has done 3 times, it's done openly, publicly. We know NPP people were campaigning even during the pandemic anyway.
Yeah.
In fact, they were caught in one of the videos saying that coronavirus has gone, it's not in Gambia anymore. That's way back in April, when the pandemic was raging everywhere. Who knows? Maybe this is why the pandemic was killing people left, right, and center in the Gambia in May, June, and July. Yeah? And in August, the first weeks of August, Gambia was the highest incident rate throughout the world, Africa, with 85% infection rate. It's probably still happening now, but they're refusing to record these things for political reasons. I saw it a few days ago. They were saying that only about there was no new deaths recorded from coronavirus in the Gambia, and the cases are dropping. But are they really saying this because they run out of the test kits? Are they saying this so that they can cover up for the president? They were telling us that APRC politicized the government machinery. What's happening under Barrow is worse than what's happening because Jammeh and his people had a conscience. Yeah? They cared for Gambian people. In fact, this is where there's a marked difference between Jammeh and Barrow. When Jammeh had Ebola was striking West Africa, he jumped into action straight away and put systems in place. And Gambians are underestimating what he did during that period to a point where we didn't have a single case. He didn't wait for a case to come. When I was doing martial arts, they said to me, even with your skills of fighting in martial arts, I won you. The best fight you've won is a fight that you never fought. That's what I was told.
Okay.
You've got skills to disable somebody, to beat them up, to kill them. But you have an opportunity to run away, to move away from the fight, move away from the front. You only fight if you have no other way of escaping the scene. Then you turn around and show them your skills in terms of neutralizing the threat. That's what I was taught. So take that into government. When Jammeh heard Ebola was striking Sierra Leone, Guinea, the two Guineas, and it got close to Senegal, what did he do? Shut down the borders, upgrade the border facilities, security, quarantine, testing facilities at the border, close all flights to all the regions that Ebola was in. No flights coming in from Guinea, no flights coming in from Sierra Leone. He closed them. Not only did he stop that, the Pan-African Jammeh got up and pulled $500,000 of Gambian taxpayers' money, right, to help Africans fight Ebola and pull it away from Gambia before it got to Gambia.
Okay.
When people sit down and say, oh, he was not a Pan-African, he just did it by rhetoric. When Ivory Coast was attacked here, Jammeh evacuated Senegalese, Guineans, Malians, and other nationals from Ivory Coast, their footballers, away from the chartered flight, Gambian taxpayers' money, evacuated other Africans. When Jammeh took over in 1994, war was raging in Casamance, my own village, Arankon, had a massive refugee camp. Where? War was raging in Liberia. In fact, they repatriated some dead Gambian soldiers from Liberia who the government sent there and neglected their dead bodies. They sent a mission to go and discover their graves and bring their remains to get decent burial in the Gambia. When Jammeh took over, Sierra Leone was deadly. Not only did he ask Sierra Leoneans to come to the Gambia as refugees, he educated them for free. He created an environment for them to settle down. He employed those with skills to go to Gambian schools and teach. And other areas of our Gambian sector have lots of Sierra Leoneans.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lamin. As we all know, in the studio here, we work with time, and it's almost trying to wrap up with the program right now. But just still, before I go, Uncle for the chore. I love the Kenyan Kakuma Kilinella. Byring Ajeloko, APRC beten kunding hansanying, ibelua bunya kang ibelua observe kang. Ngaje ko barom ya lonko wole lua kolengol fango la afango ka lual fango afango le lual fango mila afango ka violate anu ngaje ko mfanang mu opposition oti nyamen monyo dol mi alonko wol fanang mu opposition on lati ngay jele bayri ya jele ko baro e luati nyale itol fanang ye luati nya e fanang e ka komandiro ke e ka beng so lafta ke nyini ka munne ati nang atol APRC alman bari baro luatinya alman fintika luatinya wala ka mol fana komandi ka la programme sol ke publicly mune
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Okay.
I mute myself. Sorry.
Okay.
I apologize for.
No, it's okay. Yes.
Nagging the same person.
Yes.
Usman Panjak. So when you have Panjak Gambia,
all right.
So my apologies for that.
Accepted.
Thank you very much, Lamin, for that. Lapta min fana fola wolom yen ñinin kamin see one thing jamban min wolom pedanga carte fay baro on notice our president APRC-TV including every other person one let so ntolna symbole diala pour ay loi dada na ay loi dada te fon loi tina wo is wrong wo man ñang and nintol fana nga loi tina amanya. So what the APRC believe is no two wrongs can make a right. Umi manyang okulolbe otat na kukelwe. So ntol man ta okelade. Because ntol ngalo standi mo. Ntol be man sayala. Ninga luwa da tolle ka luwa tina. Anu fonga de luwa tele. So ntol ni nata asan opposition, ntol nata kala opposition ni ninni opposition dol patatale. Bayri ntol ngam man sakunda jele. Ngalon ko le min bije ani sonya min bije ani luwa ka tamanyani. So ntol la mi lo mo wolti ko. Kap ni ku jawo ke defana ku jawo ke otat na ku kendo so on clean it nyanta tarlama because ni murunda nan kote bela fula olu akili mo molle o kan plan jango baro anala man sakunda ila mironing APRC la mironing ferol man kili
okay
ndolla fero APRC la fero mu hada ma dingol yo le tamindi follow all people first banku dingol follow wala tin nan tolko the interest of the country first before individual so nin tolko buru fa bakari ngabulano mangata mote tambino la siloka that is wo mu luatinyale andu ndobe la fela nintol fana sita je man sakunda mo kana luatinya om kilinde kula sabanjang wala nyinti APRC sila kutole ta ibe molu kala mutandi la nyami ibe molu londo wulin la nyami ani ibe futano lo sonende la nyami o kufulol wala munti follow kibaro wala information fulanjango wala futanyolo communication sabanjango wala karandiro education so mbe minna bi ni ya jube mo wuli jama le ben tolla ni programme moyla ibela moyla la atara mom tanyola mom fut pem ni wati bodala nga mo fula so min yalon ko wolon na diamulalti Gambia wolon honorable amul anin duduja inim kibaru safelal ni kibaru janjannal wati ni kumandi ikatale ni be ngoki APRC la kibaro dila ikela miro foy ikela ferol foy lamin tamba wati afanani molbe kacala abe paso jola abita dulalto Angleterre ani molbe sila ani be kacala ibe APRC la ko la kibaro be janjan yo bari kibarol min ka janja ye fulale tubabol ka hum ye fake news and false news APRC ka fake news ta ka kibar keso le soto mi yalon ka tanga bula mol bul songol yela kijoti last one mi yalon ka kumata mi yanam buka luati nya wodon ngalon ne ko ndolbe fere dole sambala nan mbe futal nyam because binia jube na timo do bije min yalon ko iko ibe ye programme on so de ka back to state house voltata le kabrin URR CRR West Coast region bulal to be tunna je ni molbe katala asatara ko imalluwa fotina yo fon e karambu moto fabel jaju ana mo nyolu ni futate be katala be mutala nyola using the social media fo fana mo fero dole son tolde luwatina la fo dinga jeko itol fam min bije e loi min ko da APRC de kala luwatina ko adama baro ma faye bar na president odo adama baro man lon nyawnya am ala miro ni ferol man wara man sakunda samboto nyawnya ndolnga buña la katel na president bari ferol ni man wara man ni kol kam min foko kuto ka lafta dong la bari teta
aha thank you very much
bari ko la wakuma da bakale
okay
nin Gambia dingol salon ko kabri yaya jamme binajam karamol kono ni be sile ka si ron wele ka ika block fula sabale la nyoka yiron wela isi yakan wala constituency mu minati jama ron we nyin ka boyla ka dindingol baram a witness classroom kono table man taraje that woketa karamol ko high school on mi is only 8 jani ya jamme binajam teacher min ke karandiro ke karambuto 78% bim foreigners by the time is 2016 academic year 78% of the teaching force be mu Gambia non kabri ñi man sakunda kuto nata the teachers union janni e impaso kono ila nyaton ko tatale ko ilafta jammeta this is very important alila teachers union le okay that teachers union supported very well janni ba fula ko sanji kili teachers union fongo nata faran teacher dol bije ikoy manta buke jo ila document track wato di den vice president ako ni woti teacher sol manta do ko lay be bayila teacher dol ta amam pero do mi la nyami pour e murena ko wallahi nalima murun teacher karandiro la mbali be bay aliari men bawti teacher sol ka kampunu abuko senior secondary school Lamin Tamba se dumandem fale no. Mbota je the other part of the teachers. Olbije. Kabri ya bondi vice president yal. Ako ning ateketa president of abi teacher la doko anila jolu anila ilafta mingo min aba sonanda aba dafara bela balunya beti andila so. O Mario mum mo sifalet. Ali mira mol min ke la moy gar. Anu patio la ko. Ite bije be man sayala wato min. Iko teacher le ko nali man tambali be bayna. Le man tramansa le koko. Oto alsina nin keta man soti. Mbe sanoni lulu wala dila. Jumale be lala wa.
woto wotuta gambianol fangol bulu woto wotuta gambianol na wala nan ko APRC tol na online TV manna ka mo kajafi manna ka mo noma bare natale pour ka kala mutendero ke pour ka jeko manna pour fanan ka mo forcer bare ninga kumol fo ali lamoy ning hacilo la pour ka jibe munem atul gambianol la interest ali woke woto fanan ko mata bake my brother Fabel, I would want you to set light on this, and I will want you to give one advice to the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health with regards to the reopening of the schools and the COVID-19, and your last words before we leave, because time is almost up.
Okay, I'm thanking all the listeners on APRC-TV. Yep. And also thanking my co-panelists, my uncle for the chore, and also my humble comrade, LAMIN TAMBA in England. And also I'll be thanking all the APRC executive members, and also Deputy Spokesperson, Duduja, and also all the entire team that was responsible for this program to happen today. I'm saying a very big thank you to you all. And my last message to the people of the Gambia and also to the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Technology, that we are scared as the students. The government reopening the school without no previous measures how to tackle the pandemic, not to enter in our education. I'm also giving a big warning to the minister, Mr. Alu Badaraju, that the liberty and the education that the students need are in your hands. Never use students as a political tool to gain your own political awareness. Never use the opening of school because of why you guys want to support the agenda of Adam Barrow. We are not going to forgive if any incident happened to any students in the Gambia concerned about the coronavirus. I am begging the minister that Gambia College, the University of the Gambia, and MTI, and the Gambia Technical Training Institute, they need a support, and the support that can elevate their education. The support that can make them a citizen. A support that can make them very confident they are a member of our nation, the Gambia. I am speaking on behalf of the entire Gambia students, not single person. That if you check the education system in GTTI, is going down and down every day and night. Let them also rehabilitate the school, because there is no more GTTI annex in Banjo. All the GTTI annex in Banjo are now also going to the campus. When the people in the campus cannot even gather themselves inside the class for them to have class, and you are now also bringing out more than 3,000 students to enter to the main hall. The students are alarming that there's a severe tragedy the students. And we are not the tools for them to gain their own politics. And I also go to Adam Barrow himself. That if Adam Barrow never respect the liberty and the transparency of the students, let him resign from the position before 24 hours. And we, the students of the Gambia, we are the leaders of this nation, not the future leaders, but we are the leaders. From today, we are the leaders. I can count myself as a future leader. No, I can lead the nation with my own vision. So if the president don't even get agenda for the students, why the government are reopening the school for us to go back to school without any protection for the students not to tackle with coronavirus that we are trying today. And it's a very big tragedy.
Definitely.
I visited the Mindao Senior Secondary School, whereby only even the grade 10s alone can't even fit the school.
Oh my God.
And then you are having grade 7 to 9, you're having from grade 10 to 11, all coming in double shift in both morning and afternoon. So I am also appealing the government to have the life of the students in their hands, to support the students who want to learn, to make the education in the Gambia free to each and everyone in the Gambia to get the knowledge that they want to get.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother Fabel Jaju, for those wonderful closing remarks. I think the words that you said here are very, very touching as far as education is concerned. Looking at the pandemic definitely is a big tragedy at the education sector. So I only hope that the people concerned, the authorities, that is the education minister and the president himself, is following, so that he'll get this piece of advice and make sure that not only to listen to the advice but at least adjust themselves to what are some of the things that we've seen here. We are definitely, as APRC, we are criticizing, but definitely making very responsible criticism. So I only hope that he will also take note. Thank you very much to have you here on this program here. I will go to okay.
Before going,
okay.
I am, as for what Mr. Uncle Chow says, I'm the chairperson of the APRC National Students Wing in the Gambia. The chairperson, that if anybody who wants to join the struggle, that we need the education that we were having before to come back in power, then you can take my number from Mr. LAMIN, or I even give you my number on media right now.
Yes. No problem.
For you people to get me, those who want to join and support the students wing, my numbers are 3782748.
3782748. 3782.
748.
748.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the that if you want to link with me, you can get me. And we, the students, are really behind APRC. And we are also supporting the agendas of APRC, because of APRC get the belief, get the support, and also get that we are human beings, and they also recognize our existence. That I will say thank you to everyone who are listening. If I say any word that comes from any misbehavior, it's a word from Satan, let them also forgive me, and this talk, media talking is not that much easy. And also, if any word that I said from a very good perspective, it's a word from Allah. May the living Allah always shower and bless the party and all the party military all. Assalamu to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. My brother, thank you very much for those wonderful closing remarks. You see, education definitely is very, very, very important, and is very, very key. As a nation, if we really want to succeed, I think our top authorities should take education seriously. Avoid using the students for your own political gain, which is definitely not nice. As they always say, education is the key to success, and youths of this nation, students, we are the future leaders, so it's very, very important. So Mr. Lamin Tamba, I'll get back to you, and then I would want you to send a few remarks on your closing remarks and your advice to the political like the political opponents, like for example, our colleagues who are opposition, the same as we are, simply because Barrow violated the laws, they also violated the laws. So I want you to give a strong message on your advice to that. Your mic. Check.
Now,
Okay.
thank you very much, Khalifa. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fabel, for those wonderful closing remarks. Thank you very much and thank you very much to our viewers. Now, the government is about attitude, and you got to mean what you say. If you want to help people genuinely, the Gambia government can help Gambian people. There's no reason why the Barrow government cannot help Gambian people. All right? Now, the EU, World Bank, the UK, the United States, they're all giving Barrow government more money than they ever gave to Gambia government in his 22-year reign. They're giving to Barrow in 2-3 years amount of money that Gambia didn't receive since 1994. Because the first thing they did with Gambia was sanction him, put travel advice in place to kill the tourism industry. They said he couldn't pay salaries beyond 3 months. Until the day he left, there was nobody that was owed a salary under Gambia government. Now, Gambia government can provide free education. For attitude, like I said to you at the beginning, you will know a government's attitude from their first few steps, whether they care about people or they don't care about people. Yeah? So this is the problem we have right now. This Barrow government doesn't care. You will never see Barrow on stage and say, look, I'm sorry that Gambia college students are paying fees. You'll never see him on stage and address the expensive fish issue in the Gambia. You'll never see him on stage and address the crime issue in the Gambia. He doesn't care about the bread and butter issues that are affecting Gambian people today. That's the problem we have. It's attitude. Gambia College should never be a fee-paying institution. The University of Gambia shouldn't be paying fees. Certainly not students dropping out of high school like it is happening right now. UTG has the lowest intake rate in about 15 years. Gambia College has the lowest intake rate in about, 40, 50 years? All because of Barrow government. They don't care about education. Obviously, they will not. Because Barrow himself, his education level is questionable. I'm not saying that condescendingly. I don't think people with high school certificates are not educated. I'm just saying, if I stopped at high school, I want my brothers and my future generation, my offspring, to go beyond that level.
Sure.
That's how somebody behaves if you really care about people. You want your level that you couldn't attain to be available to other people. Barrow doesn't care. He doesn't know the value of education. He never worked for the civil service. He never worked in a structured institution. So he actually doesn't know the value of education. Look at the people advising him. Most of them school dropouts. That's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But under PPP, if we had a television station, we had a national radio station, we will not have problems with people who obtain street wisdom. Street wisdom is people who are wise, been informed by what they see and hear around them, and have never studied in class. And
Yes.
so Barrow government really needs to change their attitude towards education. Look at the schools now. Look at the results of WAEC since Barrow government came into office. The results have been getting worse and worse and worse. There's no value to education under Barrow government. They need to sort it out, and they need to sort it out now. Thank you very much to all the viewers. Thank you to APRC-TV,
Yes.
APRC NEC, and hopefully the students will join Fabel. His number has just been shared on the thread, on the feed on this video. He's chairman of the student wing of the APRC. We have students from MBI, GPPI, UT, Gambia College, and students in senior secondary school. APRC provided free education for girls and made it compulsory so that no parent will make any excuse for not sending their girls to school. For all of the ladies watching this, tell your educated Gambian ladies now who are under 40 that without jamming, they might not have attained or achieved what they achieved. They could have, but the percentage would have been small. Not only did he provide free education, he made it compulsory and took the excuses away from the parents. And number two, he brought domestic violence, which means abusing a girl or a wife in the house, was outlawed under Jack, and it wasn't happening until recently. We've seen again domestic violence in Gambia has gone through the roof again.
Empowering the girl child.
Women are being robbed. Everything is happening to our women again today. So
Yeah.
those of you watching who are ladies, you need to thank Jammeh for it. The first vice president of the Gambia to become a woman, or the first female vice president, was under Jammeh. He provided every single thing for our mothers, our sisters, our nieces, our aunts. And there's nothing that people will say against that man. He did everything humanly possible for Gambia. He made mistakes. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Thank you very much. Join the APRC student wing. We'll bring back free education. We'll reduce the catchment area for schools from 5 kilometers return journey to 3 kilometers return journey. And we're just about to go into smart systems of government, which will include smart education. And only APRC is going to do that. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. You've heard him. That's my brother, LAMIN TAMBA. Thank you for your wonderful closing remarks, and I hope our viewers are following. The number being displayed on the screen, 372748, is the link. If you want to join the student wing, call Mr. Fabel. He's there. As far as you want the free education to come back, that was a promise that Jammeh made, and it's not happening right now. If you want it to happen, please call Fidel so that you can join the student wing. We all join the fight so that we make sure that the APRC that have the students' interest at heart will come back to power, so that each and every Gambian would have access to education, quality education, for a better Gambia instead of a new Gambia. Sanyambita Muruna, Uncle Fode Chor. Fanambela flale yesarota. Yesare badi wala mimbe jibe kang right now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just to portray this thing, very, very important. I want to also Fabel that the APRC National Executive, the APRC Youth Wing, the APRC branches in the diaspora will definitely give all our support. I am not the spokesperson. Lamin said it already. I knew by my position as a member of branch in UK, and I knew the commitment of the other branches. Will do their support for Fabel. And probably after Lamin, although he links with Lamin, we will also try to, put in a bit of efforts to see to it that those organs are well established. It is very important, and it's important that we reach out to students so that they understand what we are as government if we come into power, what we've got in store for them. So I want to thank you for joining this. This is not the end of the beginning. It's the beginning of the end for him coming to this program. Mbadingolu mbenyu watu tala ukamol tentu anin kapunyo malu mbe sirimbi ka program moni samba beke la moy dama dingo leti jongo man timma ni atra ko londo lo teleta do yata mo beta mi yalon ko le benyum program ko mo du riatra ko ko le mi yalon ko mo ko kapunyo to yala mba fulade ata ko boyni bari man takunda de abukatama kumo la tafuna kumo abukatama nyonene kumo din atara ko man takunda membe sirinje ya tele e doko dia tella andu ngam pankara fe tollella pour yenna tanko sabatindi yenna fanko fana sabatindi yenna londo sabatindi yenna jata kende sabatindi mbe min do mola yo fana sabatindi to doko lo mimbe pulmi yalon ko janta mirol ni ferol lan la min nyanta nyindi andu ngani gundal mimbe ko nyantolom hadama dingo kan ni atare la karango man timma ila ala bato ko bukatib ni la karango man timma ila jata kende abukatib ni la karango man timma ila fanko bukatimma ni la karango man timma ila domoro bukatimma so kumin bebe tambita karango karamot aman nyonso kila sallallahu alaihi wasallam kabringa be sirin konko kono abe miral ala man sallallahu alaihi da ay dunia beda kabril jibril folo tata kila kan ay kuma folo min faya kay la ikra akay karang
Olem karangoti.
Akay mbe mune karana kay ko karangi alamanta tallalo ke miramin zalo babot la nyami. Kuma fulo lati. Wala tena keta adama dingoy nyanto di akete hakoti puru londo se jampa nyawa ya noma. Londo jampata ko China wotumo ka fole nyam. Ya jamena jampa dinul katamba kilometer 7 kilometer lulu. Tukata mul pete di miyano ko panamu jihado lati andabe alabato le kon. Oto APRC man sakunda mbal jela anin executive board e Halifa Jaju kako boyndi nyokoto ke kanga man bari ibe do ko min alama alay jo ini la timo ini la technical team dia mo man dia ni atranga salon alaman tallala dum haklo ko ngako alman bi imma foku dum be mol hako dans les campagnes because joya na solo woti to mba fala assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. We've almost exhausted the time right now in the studios. Remember, you're watching the APRC-TV live at Manjai, APRC Political Bureau. This is the head office of the APRC. We're calling on each and every Gambian, as far as you know that you are a patriotic citizen and definitely you want for the best interest of the students of the Gambia who are the future leaders of this nation. Please join the mighty APRC and the Green family to make sure that we make sure that in 2021 we have the APRC full at State House. Those are the people or the only political party that has the interest of the Gambian people. They always say it. The Gambian interest first before self-interest. So Fidel, also I am thanking you so much, Fidel, my brother, for that wonderful remarks and your brilliant analysis, taking your time coming to join us on the APRC-TV live program. Thank you so much. And then Mr. Lamin Tamba, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, definitely if there was any word that is beyond thank you, I would use that, but I hope you would understand. I would say thank you very much. Let me seize this opportunity to thank my supreme leader, who is no one but the most patriotic, the Pan-Africanist and former president, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Yaya AJJ Jammeh BABILIMANSA, right now in Equatorial Guinea, and his entire family. We're sending the greetings to you. And we are sending greetings also to the APRC National Executive Fabakari and his team. We are saying a very big thank you, most especially also the deputy spokesperson, who is nobody other than the press secretary, that is Duduja, Honorable Duduja. Definitely he's been very, very supportive on this program. And then we are also sending greetings to all our MPs, you know, the APRC MPs, the councillors. We are saying thank you very much for the wonderful job that you are doing. We are also sending greetings to the technical team and big thanks to them, you know, headed by Cherno Jallo, Honorable Chair Cherno Jallo, also known as Chair. The security team also, you know, the APRC security under the leadership of Pamatar. We send big thanks to you people. You know, definitely you are doing a very great job. Thank you so much. And then we are also saying thank you to the APRC chat group executive for the wonderful jobs that you're doing. We're saying a big thank you to you all and all the chat groups, most especially the chat group that I am coming from, that is the APRC Jammeh Must Come Back chat group. I am their PRO too. So I am saying thank you very much, diaspora, and thank you, the viewers, for those who have supported this program, viewing, making comments. I cannot read all your comments, but we are seeing you. I could not mention Sefo. That's my own brother. I salute you. Thank you so much. I salute you all because you deserve it. Not only you are APRC, but you are patriotic citizens, so you deserve to be saluted more than 1 million times. Thank you so much. Till another good time, huh? Next week, Friday, inshallah, you catch us same time, same frequency on the Facebook Live, APRC Officials TV, online TV, Facebook. Thank you very much. I am your host, Halifa Ijajo, also known as PANJAK. Thank you very much. Hi. Done. Hello.